It is open source, self-hosted, connects to basically everything you already work with, and if you want to run it with zero API cost using a local LLM, it does that too. Here is what I'm covering in this video so you can jump to whatever is relevant to you. First, what SurfSense actually is and why it is a different category of tool compared to NotebookLM. Then an honest side-by-side breakdown of SurfSense versus NotebookLM, where NotebookLM is still better, where SurfSense is winning, and no hype. After that, the full setup walkthrough, cloud version if you just want to try it, Docker self-hosted if you want full data ownership, then a live demo. I will show it actually working with real integrations, a real query, and I will close with an honest take on who this is actually for and where it still has rough edges. Because it is just launched in early March 2026, and I'm not going to pretend it is perfect. And stay for the Docker setup section specifically, I'm going to show you it is a single command and most people overcomplicate it. So, what is SurfSense? At its core, it is an open source AI research agent and personal knowledge base. The GitHub describes it as an open source alternative to NotebookLM, Perplexity, and Glean, all three. That is a big claim, and I want to actually walk through whether it earns it. Here is what it does. You connect it to your sources, and I mean a lot of sources. Google Drive, Slack, Microsoft Teams, Notion, GitHub, Gmail, Discord, Jira, ClickUp, Bookstack, Google Calendar, and many more. It also connects to search engine like Tavily. Once those are connected and syncing, you just ask it question in simple English. The answer comes cited like Perplexity. It tells you exactly where it pulled information from, and the retrieval architecture underneath uses hybrid search. That means it combines the vector search and keyword search at the same time, and that combination matters. Pure semantic search misses exact matches, pure keyword search misses meaning, and hybrid search gets both. It also supports over 50 file extensions, PDFs, images, videos, markdown files, code files. If you have a file, there's a very good chance that SurfSense can process it. Now here is the part that actually matters. You self-host this. Your data lives on your machine, on your server, not Google's infrastructure, not some startup's cloud you have no visibility into. Yours. There is also a cloud version called SurfSense Cloud if you want to skip the self-hosting entirely. I will show you both in the setup section. But the self-hosted version is what makes this genuinely different from everything else in this space. One more thing, the tech stack. Fast API backend, Next.js frontend, LangGraph for the agent framework, LangChain, PostgreSQL, Redis, Docker. This is a properly built project, not a weekend prototype. And there is a browser extension that lets you save web pages, including pages behind login walls. That is actually really thoughtful. I have not seen that done cleanly in any other tool at this price point, which is free basically. Okay, so let me actually be fair here. A lot of these comparison videos just pick one side and ignore the real trade-offs. I'm not doing that. Here's where NotebookLM is still genuinely better. Setup. There is no setup. You go to notebooklm.google.com, log into a Google account, upload a PDF, and you're chatting with it under like 2 minutes. No Docker, no terminal, no commands, no environment variables. If you want to talk to a research paper today, right now, NotebookLM is the fastest path from zero to working. That's not nothing. Then the audio overview feature. The podcast generation in NotebookLM is more polished. SurfSense has podcast generation too, and I will show it in the demo section. But NotebookLM has clearly put more engineering into how natural those conversations sound. SurfSense launched in early March 2026. It will have rough edges. I will come back to this. Then stability. NotebookLM has been around longer, has more users, and has Google's engineering resources behind it. And SurfSense is just weeks old at this point. And now coming to the part where SurfSense wins. And these are not small wins for a specific type of person. First, data ownership. Your data on NotebookLM is on Google server. If you are uploading client research, internal company notes, personal code, anything you would not want sitting in a big data center, that is where it is actually going with NotebookLM. SurfSense self-hosted means that data never leaves your machine. Full stop. Second, real integrations. NotebookLM does not connect to your Slack. It does not connect to your GitHub. It does not sync your Notion in real time. You have to manually upload documents every time something changes. SurfSense connects directly to all of those and syncs on a schedule. That is a completely different category of tool. Then third, LLM flexibility. NotebookLM runs on Gemini, as we all know. One model, one provider. But on the other hand, SurfSense supports any LLM you want. OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, if you actually prefer it. But you can also plug in a local model through Ollama, VLLM, Llama.cpp or LM Studio and run the entire stack with zero API cost. For students watching this or indie builders, bootstrapping products, that is a genuinely useful thing. And on top of that, it is open source. You can read the code, you can fork it. If there is a connector you need that does not exist yet, you can build it. Here's the honest framework. If you are non-technical and want to chat with a few PDFs quickly, NotebookLM is still your answer. If you are a developer or a CS student who wants a private AI layer over your actual workflow with full data ownership and model flexibility, then SurfSense is the better tool for you. These are solving slightly different problems, and framing it as a fight misses the point. Alright, let me show you how to actually get this running. Cloud version first for people who want to try this with no friction. Then the Docker self-host, which I prefer to use personally. Go to surfsense.com, create an account. Once you are inside, you will see the connectors panel on the left. This is where you connect your integrations. Pick what is relevant to you. I connected Notion and GitHub first. Enable periodic syncing so it stays updated automatically without you having to trigger it manually. That is generally for the cloud version. You are ready to query within about 5 minutes and zero terminal knowledge required. Now Docker self-host. This is where you get actual full control. First, if you do not have Docker installed, go to docker.com, install Docker desktop and make sure the daemon is running. This takes maybe 5 minutes. After that, you are running just one command, and I will put that command in the description, so make sure to check it out. That is the whole thing. The command pulls the image from the GitHub container registry. The flag for port 3000 maps the front end. The port 8000 maps to the backend API. Volume flag means your data persists across container restarts. Restart flag means if your machine reboots, SurfSense comes back up automatically. And the image at the end is the official latest build from the project. After Docker finishes pulling the image, open your browser and go to localhost 3000. You will see the SurfSense dashboard. From here, the setup is identical to the cloud version. Go to connectors, pick your integrations, enable syncing. Give it a few minutes to index everything depending on how much data you have connected. If you want to go the production route with Docker Compose, which is better if you are running this on a VPS or a server rather than a local machine, you clone the repo and run this command. The Compose setup gives you more control over environment variables and configurations. For local personal use, the single run command is completely fine. One thing I want to flag honestly, during setup, you will need to configure your LLM provider. If you are using OpenAI or Anthropic, you paste in an API key and you are done. If you want the Ollama route, which is zero API cost, you need Ollama installed separately with the model already pulled. Then in SurfSense settings, you point it to your local Ollama endpoint. The default is localhost 11434. It picks it up cleanly. I tested it and it works without any extra configuration. This is actually the thing I kept thinking about when I made that AI certification video. The tools that are genuinely free versus a tool that look open source but still route everything through a paid API. SurfSense with Ollama is genuinely free, end to end, nothing going out. Alright, I have got Notion and GitHub connected and indexed. Let me show you what this actually looks like when you use it. I'm going to ask it something that cuts across both sources. Something like, explain me the code of SnapText, which is basically my project on GitHub. And also tell me if there is any docs related to that in my Notion. Alright, so my Notion pages are connected and my GitHub is connected. Let us see what it gives. And I basically did this earlier itself. So as you can see, this is giving me a lot of data. It is returning the relevant things from the GitHub and the Notion. Two separate sources, one natural language question, and boom, it is giving me answers. Now this is the difference I was trying to describe in the comparison section. NotebookLM is for synthesizing documents you feed it manually. SurfSense is for querying your actual living workspace, your GitHub issues from this week, your Slack messages, your calendar, your project notes. It is more like having a personal search engine over your entire knowledge graph than a chatbot interface over a few uploaded files. I also want to show you podcast generation quickly because I know that is the flagship feature of NotebookLM and I said SurfSense has it too. It does. You pick document or a topic from your knowledge base, hit generate and it creates an audio overview. The voice quality is decent. It is not as polished as NotebookLM's version yet, but this genuinely surprised me for a tool that was released just a few weeks ago. The fact that it works at all and sounds reasonably natural is a good sign for where it is heading. Now let me be straight with you because this is the part where most reviews either skip or sugarcoat. SurfSense launched in early March 2026. The community is still small. Documentation has some gaps. If you hit an edge case during setup, you are going to be digging through the GitHub issues for an answer, not finding a Stack Overflow thread with 200 upvotes. Anyways, the Stack Overflow is already dying. But that is the reality of adopting to a tool which was launched just a few weeks ago. If you do not know what Docker is, if the idea of running terminal commands makes you anxious, NotebookLM is still the right answer for you right now, genuinely. There is no shame in using the right tool for where you are. But here's who I think this is actually built for. Developers, students who are already comfortable in the terminal, people who build things and want their AI layer connected to their actual work, not a few PDFs they uploaded manually, their GitHub, their notes, their team tools, and who want that running on infrastructure they own and control. If that is you, the setup is maybe 15 minutes, including Docker pulling the image. So basically one-time cost. I made a video early on about AI projects that actually matter. The theme was the gap between the tools that look impressive and tools that actually change how you work day to day. So I think SurfSense for the right person is genuinely in the second category. I also want to mention something technical quickly because I think it gets glossed over. The 6000 plus embedding model support and the hybrid search architecture are not just features to pad out the README. Hybrid search is a meaningful engineering choice. It gives you a better retrieval across both exact queries and fuzzy conceptual searches, compared to tools that only do vector search. That matters when your knowledge base gets large. And one last honest thing, SurfSense is weeks old. The team is active on GitHub. The roadmap is moving. The rough edges that exist right now, kind of rough edges that get fixed fast when the builder is engaged and the community starts growing. Whereas the limitations of NotebookLM, no external integrations, no self-hosting, log to Google's infrastructure, those are not rough edges. Those are product decisions and that are not going to change. Subscribe to this channel if you want more of these videos and hit the like button if you think this was helpful. Now go build something or learn something. I'm watching you.